I have to say I don't remember her name.
Good morning. Good morning. That's all right, Allison. I caught you live. Listen, we're gonna just start off. I'm not even gonna. It's not gonna be professional. You got Jeff today. You don't have Ray. This isn't gonna go like you think it should. We're gonna start off by noting the fact that I just realized that we were late coming live because Allison and I were just talking. So, like, that's just the reality of what it is. But we were talking about an awesome educator or many awesome educators. So, like, that's a positive, right? But we
Right.
are here. This is your daily drop-in for Thursday, December 16th, 2021. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And we are chatting with the amazing Allyson Apsey, one of my favorite people in the entire world.
Oh, Jeff.
And what's crazy is she's not that far away from me. So, like, it's, I don't have to go that far. She says go north a little bit to that place up there. But we're going to chat a little bit. We're going to talk. I'm going to make you tell us about your books and all the amazing things you do. And we'll talk about some of the stuff for this week. We got some good news and some holiday celebrations and things of that nature as well. I'm realizing right now, how bad am I that I didn't even realize that we didn't even have the right background on. I'm so fired, Allison. It's not even funny at this point.
Oh, you make me so happy.
Ray is at home going, why did I let this happen? What?
I thought we were going to do a brain break, too. I'm just rolling with it.
I think mine might still be on a break from last night. So, all right. So if everyone can do me a huge favor, comment in the comments and let me know how you're not telling Ray about this. And hopefully she's sleeping in or something this morning. But we're going to be back in a few seconds, and we're going to reset and do this the right way with Allyson. All right, good morning. This is your daily drop-in for Thursday, December 16th. And this is, in fact, your daily drop-in. And we are still live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And Allyson is, for some reason, still here. I'm going to go through this with me. So, good morning, friend. How are you?
I am wonderful. Yeah, you made my morning, because when I was on with Ray, like, she was, like, super professional, and I was a hot mess because of like what had happened.
I'm the hot mess today.
It makes me feel much better about myself. So thank you very much, Jeff.
Well, I aim to please. And I figure your life is probably crazy enough as a elementary principal in this crazy world we're in. So why not, let you know that we're all crazy, even when we're not elementary principals. It's all good. So if I can be your hot mess, then that's what I'll do. But how are you? How's your week going right now? Are you done after this week? Do you still have a couple days? Or
we're doing like the 5 days of Christmas, and our teachers, of course, are celebrating our students and creating special events and experiences for them. And so this week I'm doing the same for teachers, along with help of my incredible office staff. So we did breakfast for them on Monday. We did a tea on Tuesday. Yesterday we had lunch. Today we're doing the gift of time and giving them an extra hour in their day. And I'm just creating a space where they can go and have a snack and hydrate and write a Christmas card to a loved one if they'd like to, or they can just go out to breakfast, whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow we have like a crazy Christmas day. But this is real life. Like, we have a sub shortage. We have a crazy windstorm happening right now in West Michigan. That is worse than the storm that sunk the Edmund Fitzgerald, if anybody knows that story. And my power was out. This is me getting ready in the dark, so I apologize for that.
You did well.
Thank you. So I think like we have many students and staff who are going to come in feeling like a little discombobulated after. Well, it's the crazy windstorm. It's going until like 4 o'clock today.
No kidding. And then now, are you done tomorrow? Then do you start break then, or do you have a couple of days next week?
No, I mean, crazy Christmas Day is the culmination of this week.
Okay. When
this year at Quincy Elementary, and then we come back on January 3rd to a fresh new calendar year, and exciting learning.
Back to it. So I want to get into all the craziness and in your gift of time. But before that, just in case anybody is not aware of who you are, can you give us the quick intro of Allyson? I mean, I know you were here with Ray like a month ago. And you've been, been part of this family, this community for a long time. But people find this show and they might not know who you are. So can you give us a quick intro of who is Allyson Apsey?
Yes. So number one, I am a huge fan of the Teach Better team and love being here with you. I also am, this is my 24th year or something in education. And I became a principal really early in my career, just circumstances kind of aligned where I became a leader in the building I was working in, and then became, an official leader. So this is my 19th year as a principal, which
wow. So only like 5 or so years in, and you were wow.
Right. I taught multi-age classes.
Okay.
So I taught grades 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 in those 5 years. Like, I obviously don't like to get comfortable in positions or grade levels. Like, I like to switch it up. But a huge benefit as a principal to have had experience teaching all those grade levels. So that's
and you never get comfortable as a principal, right?
No. If you get comfortable, maybe it's time to move on because yes. No, there's new challenges all the time. And so I'm in West Michigan. I'm in Zeeland. Michigan is where I'm a principal. I grew up in Grand Rapids, and I started my leadership career in Traverse City, Michigan. And so I also 5 years ago I got connected, and that's how I found the Teach Better team, and it's how I started blogging in 2015. That then translated. So I blog on a site called Serendipity in Education. And so that started in 2015, and it ended up that I'm writing my 5th book right now. Like this,
book
I
number
came
5
to this
now?
writing journey late in life too. Yes.
Wow.
Isn't that insane?
So all right, so rattle off the books.
We have a mistake in Michigan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ken's in Michigan, yes. Hold on. Let me see if I can. I want to know. I want to see if I can get it. So there's the Path of Serendipity, the Prince of Serendipity, my Serendipity Journal. Oh, come on. Serendipity and Serendipity. What's the last one?
Yeah. Through the lens of serendipity.
Through the lens of serendipity. Okay, I got them right. So I got 3 out of 4, right?
You did great.
Wow,
yes,
that's awesome. I'm a fan. I
So
can't. I have
2 books
I think
for
I have
grown-ups.
most.
Aww.
I think I have most of them on my bookshelf. I got to find them. There's a lot over there, but yes.
So 2 books for educators, grown-ups, and then a picture book that's called The Princes of Serendip that tells the origin of the word serendipity, or it's a retelling of the origin of the word serendipity. And then middle grades realistic fiction chapter book called the Serendipity Journal. So I don't like to stay in the same genre either.
Yeah, you bounce all over, but a connected theme, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So is the 5th book connected to Serendipity?
No, it's a little different, but I'll just share just a little bit about that. My obsession with serendipity. It did definitely start watching the 2000 movie starring John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale. Great movies. Such a sweet rom-com.
Glove, yes.
But it I was teaching 7th and 8th graders, and I was teaching a character education class, and I knew, thanks, Elijah, you're the best. I knew that if I called a character education class character education for 7th and 8th graders, they would be rolling their eyes as they're walking in the door.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do to me? This is Apsey. So I called the class Serendipity. And that was back in 2001, 2002, after I'd seen the movie. And we really talked about looking for happy accidents in our lives. And then that just kind of became a philosophy in my life. And is that if we move through our lives looking for beautiful lessons and happy accidents and everything we experience, then we live richer, fuller, and certainly, happier lives. I did a TEDx talk that's called Serendipity is Everywhere. And it's funny because I get comments on it that say, great talk, but she doesn't really know what serendipity means. And I'm like, well, actually, I can open a dictionary and read the definition of serendipity just like anyone else can. But to me, it's more than that. And that's just the way that I've embraced serendipity in my life. So the new book is called Leading the Whole Teacher. Well, that's the working title. My friend, Brad Gustafson, suggested, as I was talking with him about the book, he said, well, what about serving the whole teacher? Which I don't know, like if it, which title is going to, what the actual title is going to be. But the concept is to take that philosophy of serving the whole child in schools and lay that over the idea of how can we serve and support the whole teacher in schools. And I cannot imagine a time when that's more needed than right now. So I'm like, I feel this urgency to get the manuscript completely drafted and get going in the editing process, but I'm at about 70% right now.
Okay. And who are you? Are you allowed to tell us who you're working on that with?
Oh yeah. Yes. DBC is publishing.
DBC again. Yeah. I figured. That's awesome.
Yes.
So you're about 70% done. So probably still a good 6 to 8 months away from that, probably.
Right. Like I have high hopes for Christmas break.
To get the rest of it done, to knock out the
right. Yes.
I love it. Okay. So, all right. So now that ties in really well. You were talking about the whole teacher and stuff. And you mentioned earlier that today, you're giving your teachers the gift of time.
Yep.
Which I think is particularly interesting and awesome, because I also know that like you're dealing with a sub shortage. You were like literally like finalizing a sub, I think, as we got connected, and yet you're still going to give your teachers an hour of time. How are you pulling that off? Well, two-part question. One, how are you pulling that off? And then I want you to go into why that's so important to you to do that.
Right. Yeah. So we do have guest teachers. Like we have some college students who are already back. Okay. So we just tapped into people that we knew would be around and available, and then support staff, helping out here and there. I don't want to take their whole day with, bouncing around and stuff, because I want them to get the gift of time also. And then, like I thought, well, I might just have to cancel all of my meetings this morning and sub for this, because we have the sub shortage, like whatever it takes to make it happen, kind of all hands on deck. But my secretary and I were working really hard to make sure that like all of our support staff had signed up for a time also. So just breathing room is so important right now. And it's not like, it's time for sure, but it's also working alongside staff to make sure that they're not worrying about everything, because there's so much to worry about right now. And that worry load is so heavy. And then in the school, there also has to be physical space. So we have a lounge where teachers can go and get work done, but that's a pretty public area. We also have a Zen zone, which is an office that we converted into this like beautiful oasis for staff, where they can go and get regulated and calm down, and they could work in there if they wanted. They could be in there with a colleague if they wanted to just sit and chat. But that physical space, and today that space is going to be the library, where I just put up like Christmas music and that like fireplace background, and we'll have snacks and Christmas cards for them to create for a colleague. And so just space in general is so important right now.
And I've caught you smiling several times, and because I know you can see the comments coming through. So I want to throw a few of them up, because we got people are all over the place right now. Dave, Jeff actually looks good. Andrea's pumped about meeting. So Andrea was supposed to be at 2019, but she had just had a baby, so she couldn't make it. So she's excited. Adam, good morning. Good to see you. Dave just giving you some more love. Dave, we know that Dave is a big fan.
Well, and I appreciate what he said about not sugarcoating, and that's a work in progress, because I have had to work on sitting in hard feelings, and not being like toxically optimistic. And as I've gotten older, like I understand that we can drop below the line and then work together to come back up above it. And we're supposed to drop below the line. That spectrum of feelings we have, like we're supposed to have all of them.
I agree. And I think some people are touching on here about like the idea that you're getting down in there, that you're willing to cancel your meetings and put something on your plate for another day so that you can help sub and stuff like that. And something that was getting me is like, you talk about like it's breathing room, but it's getting there with them. I think there's such value in them simply seeing you trying to do these things, because the teachers are aware that you're dealing with sub shortages and all these things. So like the fact that you're doing whatever it takes to give them, even if it wasn't an hour, if it was 15 minutes or whatever it might be, like that is huge. I had a conversation a few weeks back with a teacher who was sharing how it was such an amazing thing that their building leader did. And all it was literally 5 minutes, but they were given permission to take an extra 5 minutes in between classes. And she said, it's crazy to think that 5 minutes, but she's like, it's changed my entire day because I have 5 minutes and I know I have permission to like take those 5 minutes. So like that is, it's crazy. It's crazy powerful during the time right now. It's sad that you have to do everything you have to do to make that happen, but I love that you're doing that. And I love your take on the positivity, because you are people who know you and talk about how positive you are and how you light up a room and stuff. But I think it's really important to note that, like, guess what? Allison's not happy all the time, all day, every day. She gets stressed. She does that. And it's okay to not to, like you said, dip below the line and come back up. And I think the key is that we're able to bring ourselves back up when we need to, and able to allow ourselves to kind of flow like that. So I love that. I love the way you lead. If I was a teacher, if I could somehow get qualified to be a teacher, I would want to come work at your school.
Oh, I want to just share something with you that's really important to me.
What do you have?
So this is, okay, it looks like Christmas threw up in my office. Like, let's be real for a minute. But this sign right here, it says, "Congratulations, welcome to the Q."
Yes.
I've been here. This is my 8th year at the Q. But that sign will never move.
Is that from when you first came?
That was when I walked in the door. I walked into teachers holding that sign, and it just reminds me of like the expectation and the hope that they had when I walked in the door for the first time. And I never want to let go of that. It's just a great reminder every single day.
I love that you still have that. That's awesome. I love that they made that for you, first off. And I love you have
they're amazing.
It's awesome. Well, we're gonna keep talking with Allyson. We're gonna flip right now, and I want to talk just a little bit about our theme for the week, and then I do want to get into a good news story and some holidays. We're gonna have a little bit shorter daily drop because Allyson has to work and stuff. So we're gonna. I don't know. This is somehow part of my job. I don't know how I pulled this off, but so I want to get into that. I want to ask you a couple questions and then get into the holidays and the celebrations and all that awesomeness. So we're gonna be back in a second with getting into our brainstorm bank here. All right, welcome back to Daily Drop-In, where we have the correct background on now, and we are live streaming from Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch with the amazing Allyson Apsey. Allyson, so much awesomeness already this morning. This week's theme is Universal Design and Learning, and there's already been a lot of really great conversation on how we can do that in our classrooms and what that means and the components that go into. And I think what I wanted to kind of ask you around this was universal design. There's a lot that goes into that. It's a lot around the environment and the culture that is created within the classroom, the teachers and stuff. And I think a really important component to that is the culture created in a building and or district, but in a building that allows teachers to do the things that they need to do to support their students the best. And I know I don't work for you, but I do know that in your building, your teachers have that. They have a culture, they have an environment that they know that they can do what they need to do. They can create the environments that they need to create for their students and all of their students to learn. I'd love to hear if you could share with us, how do you've been there for a while, you've been at your school for 8 years, administrator for 19 something years, educator for more. How do you create at the Q, how do you and your team there create the culture and the environment for your educators, for your teachers, and your support staff to create the environments needed for students to thrive? I know that's a big question, but can you kind of paint that picture for us? She's saying hi. Look at her. She can't even not say hi immediately.
Yeah, so I think there's so many different components, but I'm a leadership coach also, and I really think about this question that I got from one of the people I'm coaching, and she said, "So when you're like out at Arrival, what do you do?" And my response is, I lead. Right? Like, I look around all the time and figure out like where does that culture need to be built up? Like, is that engaging with students? Is that bringing music out and wearing my jammy pack? Is that walking around the building and checking in with staff? It's constantly like kind of having your pulse on the vibe of the school and how things are feeling. because it's so important to have an environment where it's full of joy and excitement, and people feel comfortable taking risks. Like I love teacher evaluation and observations. To me, is a huge part of this, because and I was going to say, I love when teachers are like, hey, I'm trying something new. Can you come in and just count that as an observation? I'm like, that is like huge success. Not only do they want me to come see them try something new, they want me to evaluate them trying something new. Like that just says remarkable things about how we view observation and evaluation. And there's a research article that's out on social media that talks about how teacher evaluation is, research does not support that teacher evaluation equates to increased student achievement. So it was a failure, an experimental failure. And so then I really have to think about, and I have been, how do I use teacher observation and evaluation that we're required to do in a way that's going to build up teachers, empower them, help me coach them, and remove obstacles along their path so that they're able to create the environments and the learning experiences that they want to create for students. So really talking to them about their goals, supporting them with resources and research and books and whatever they're interested in. And just, if I have teachers who are really interested in the science of reading, or if I have teachers that are really interested in like spiderweb discussions, like whatever they're interested in and want to try out with their students to increase student learning opportunities and engagement, like just walking alongside them.
So you've really flipped this evaluation process that honestly can be nerve-wracking, frustrating, and honestly scary for so many educators. And you're flipping it into an opportunity to partner with them, to have the fact that a teacher will call you and be like, hey, I'm doing something different. I have no idea if it's going to work or flop, and I want you to evaluate me on this, versus normally it's, hey, let me set up my dog and pony show for you.
Right.
That's incredible that's the environment and the way that you've built that. And I mean, it's not as easy as this, but the fact is, like, if you just shift the way you're looking at that evaluation as you have, eventually your teachers will realize that, oh, this isn't Allyson's chance to come get me. She just wants to know what's going on so she can help me, and we can partner and we can try new things like that. The risk taken there. And I know Karen's saying, oh my gosh, I would love to be evaluated that way, right? To be able to not only know that I can take risk, but know that I can literally have my evaluation on that. And it's not necessarily going to be judging me for whether this risk worked or not, but whether I'm doing the best I can for my students, whether I'm growing as an educator, whether I'm doing those things. I think that's incredible. And there's the key right there, I think, is huge, is it shows trust. And yes. In my opinion, and full disclosure, never been a teacher, so I've never been evaluated as a teacher, nor have I ever done one as an admin, but I've been in a lot of other places where I've been evaluated and evaluated people, and 9 out of 10 times it is just a control mechanism. That's all it is. It's created for control, and there needs to be some evaluation, stuff like that, but I'm a huge believer in trusting your people. You put them there for a reason. You've done it. You trust them. If you're not sure about someone, it's not about not trusting them and checking in. It's about finding ways that you can better support them so that you can then learn to trust each other and grow that. And so I think when teachers feel that trust, they get to flourish. Because they get to take those risks. They get to try new things. And they know it's not going to destroy their career or their year or their month, whatever. Like I love that. And I also love you started, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like I think it starts, a big piece of it starts here. And you started your answer to me there, which was the start of the day.
Yes.
From the starting minute when people start coming in, setting that culture up for your students and your staff to do that. And I need you to go just a little bit more in detail, because I'm aware of it, of your jammy pack, because I forgot about it until you mentioned it.
I feel like it's old news. Hang on, it's right here.
Oh my guys, it's worth it. Listen, it might be old news to you and me, but someone's going to see this today and be like, oh my gosh, I need a jammy pack.
So this is not, jammy pack is a brand. So this is not actually a jammy pack. This is the Rager Fanny, and it's from Super Real Business. I do love this one. It's a little less expensive than the jammy pack. I actually heard about this on a show. You might know them. They're Mojo in the Morning. It's like a morning radio show. They're syndicated a little bit, but they're out of Detroit area. And they were talking about this with like kids like partying on the beach. And I thought, oh, that would be awesome to have as a principal. Like, it's like walking down the hall, creating your own, like being in your own Disney musical. And I actually, I think it was in 2017 or so, I ordered one, and I did order a jammy pack originally. And I did like the open box Facebook Live reveal and shared it with my students. And that just came up in my memories recently.
I mean, it's a fanny pack, but with built-in speakers.
Yes.
Is it just Bluetooth to your phone, I assume?
Yep. So I just slide my phone inside. I just do playlists on iTunes, and I avoid any, commercials or costs or.
Very important pedagogical question.
Yes.
What's in the fanny pack?
Like a Dove chocolate.
Not important.
And a Twix. I think these are like, as I'm walking around, kids are giving me birthday treats.
Okay.
And I just slide them.
Stuff in there.
Lead positive sticker. This is from like a time when I presented. I mean, a Teach Better sticker could be in there, but usually it's just
should be.
It should be in there. It's just my phone.
Have you considered filling it with confetti so that when you walk into a room, or like glitter or something, like, I
could do that outside, like biodegradable confetti, and like go out to recess and play the music and throw. Oh my goodness, the kids would go nuts. They would love that.
Especially if you need like a pump up song, and like when it hits, you let it go. Like,
yes. Okay. Yeah. I also I have an app that I can use this as a a speaker for a microphone.
Oh, so you can talk into it and.
Yeah. Yes. There's a little bit of delay, but that's kind of fun. And then I also have like a sound effects app on my phone. So like as I'm doing a read aloud or something, I can play sound effects.
That's awesome. That's
many uses.
I might get one just for my house. That could be fun. The sound effects or the microphone, because I would say stuff to my kids and then wait as it played through.
Oh yeah.
It would drive them nuts. But also the confetti thing. I'm really thinking about that now. I'm trying to think of what song would be best for you to do that. Like something you gotta look for, like the song. What are the pump up songs that like the Red Wings play or the Pistons or something like that play? And like when they would come out, like just saying,
thinking like Rocky or something like.
Or Rocky, yeah. Oh yeah. This is gonna be fun. I'm gonna need you to have someone else film that so we can see that.
Oh, that would happen. I mean, is there any doubt? My kids yesterday, I was at a roller skating party for them, and they're like, "Are these pictures going on the weekly announcements?" I'm like, "What's my name?" Mrs. Apsey. I'm like, "Can you answer your own question?" They're like, "Oh yeah, they're going out weekly."
Well, and that there, I knew it was a fun little joke, but like that is again a confirmation of the type of environment that you're building at the school, where your kids just know that.
Yeah.
They know that Miss Apsey is going to share this. She's going to put it up. It's going to go on the announcements. Like, that's just super cool. And I think that's I gotta imagine, correct me if I'm wrong, that didn't work and start happening in day one or year one.
No.
That this is something that has taken a while to build over at the Q, to create that culture. I think that's really important to note also. Like, you don't just buy a fanny pack and suddenly your teachers know you trust them and stuff like that, right? There's a lot that goes into that. That's not a easy process. And I think that's really important for leaders to know and for teachers to know as you build in your classroom and amongst your colleagues. Like, it takes time to build that.
Right.
Especially if you happen to be in a place that maybe doesn't have a very good culture currently. Like, it can take a long time to do that. So I think that's really key. Anyway, I love that. I love the culture. I love the jammy pack. I forgot about it. Now I'm going to Google them. Anyway, that's great. I'm gonna jump in. We're gonna switch over real quick, do some holiday celebrations and a quick good news story. Then we're gonna let Allyson get off to probably subbing today. It sounds like.
Yeah, who knows?
Go from there. So
we just roll with the punches.
We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Daily Drop, and we're live right now on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. I've got Allyson Apsey with me here, and we're going to talk about we got a few holidays today, some important holidays from around the world, and some that are just fun. So today's actually, and I don't know if I say it right or not, but Bahrain National Day, which is when Bahrainis celebrate their freedom and their independence. which is incredible. It's also, I think they celebrate both on the 16th and 17th, if I'm correct. And then today's also Bangladesh Victory Day, which is not a celebration of their independence, but it's actually the start of the war that actually led to their freedom as well. So it's something that they kind of start the celebration now, and it actually went for, I believe, 9 months. I think it's in, I can't remember when their independence. I should have studied better. But two very important holidays there. It's also Kazakhstan's Independence Day, so celebrating that. I know here, obviously in the United States, how high we hold up Independence Day. So it's important to remember that a lot of other folks have had Independence Day, and they celebrate that too. So hopefully everyone connected to those countries are celebrating that. Today is also for regions, and I got to make sure I get this right, so I'm clicking into this one. And by the way, this is coming from nationaltoday.com. If you go there, it's a really great website where every day you can click on today's holidays, and it's just all the holidays from around the world. But today is in South Africa. It's the Day of Reconciliation, and this is a day where they recognize racial injustices and bring to light both the history and the suffering, but also the growth that has happened. And each year there's a different theme that they go through on how to look back in the past. So another important day there for anyone in South Africa or from that region. And what else we got today? Some less important holidays, but still fun, is Barbie and Barney Backlash Day. And all it says here is, let's just forget about Barbie and Barney for a while.
Okay.
That's what it is. So,
I mean, they weren't really top of mind anyway.
Well, just in case they were, they shouldn't be, because today's the day that you should not think about them. And then this one, I think you and I can probably get behind, is National Chocolate Covered Anything Day.
There's going to be plenty of that here.
So find something chocolate covered or cover something in chocolate, and that's today. So there's your holidays for today. A quick good news story is that there's a genetics research that has uncovered some, not a cure, but some new hope, as they call it, for folks that have stuttering complications. And the paper's published this week. They're describing, they've discovered sort of the genetic architecture for the development of that, because up until now they haven't been able to figure out like what actually causes that. And so now they feel like this might be a breakthrough on figuring out what is the genetics that actually lead to stuttering, and because that's the next step to then maybe finding a cure and a way for us to solve that. So always awesome when we see breakthroughs in science, or the start of a breakthrough in science that's going to hopefully help a whole lot of people one day. So always good news story there too. And I think that's a great, a good news story is not just about celebrating good news, and same with the holidays, but it's how can we take this into our classrooms and our students. And I think if you look at the holidays today, several different countries from around the world that have Independence Days or celebrations going on, where you can bring that to your kids to open their eyes up to how big the world and how different we all are and how we celebrate things differently. And then into, the science, you can dive into the science and start investigating the pain that folks go through who do deal with speech impediments and stuttering specifically, and that sort of diversity that also exists in our world, and a lot that you can take into your classroom. So hopefully that opens up some discussion amongst you and your students, or you and your colleagues, and you can go in there. I am also celebrating today a new holiday that I'm inventing, which is Jeff got to go live with Allyson Day. It'll now be annual, and it'll be celebrated by walking into a room of your choosing to a song of your choosing, throwing confetti in the air. That is the official celebration of our day.
Perfect.
I'm super excited that I got to go live with you today. Here's the best part. So normally Ray does, I'm only on Mondays. Ray does all the lives, and she had something on her calendar that she reached out like weeks ago, and she's like, hey, can you take this Thursday? And I, of course, said, maybe. Who's on it? And she said, no. She said, can you take it? I don't think you were booked yet. And I found out it was you, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. That works out well. And then a few days ago, she's like, I don't know what I had on Thursday. Like, I just had it blocked off, but I have no idea. Like, she doesn't know if she had something scheduled, whatever, but it's not there. And she's like, can I take Thursday back? And I said, no, you can't.
Aww.
And I kind of guys them. They're like, why don't you take the morning off and relax? But that's not what I cared about. That's not what it was. I appreciate it. I've told this story many times before. I think on live a few times before. But a story of, if you haven't figured out what kind of person Allyson is yet. Allyson and I, when did I come to Michigan? It was before COVID. So 78 years ago. Yeah. I was driving I was actually going to be in Grand Rapids, which is about an hour south of you, give or take. 45 minutes south of you?
Yeah.
Sure.
It's actually not south, but
I was driving in and I let you know, and you're like, oh, I'm actually flying in from, I think you're coming in from New York that same day. And so you got in a few hours before, flew into Grand Rapids, drove home, waited for a couple hours, and then drove back down to Grand Rapids to have dinner. And we got to hang out and stuff. And for me, I was like, you just were away from your family, flew home, like did the whole travel thing, and still drove 45 minutes just to have a 45-minute meal with me. And that to me was super special. I don't forget that. And that to me, that's just who you are. And I love that. I'm so excited that you're going to be back out for the conference in 22, which I don't know if we've actually told anyone that you're coming to the conference, but I just did. So if you've been with us for the last 35 minutes, congratulations, you got some insider information. But of course she's going to be there. Like everyone knows Allyson's going to be there. So I appreciate you a whole lot. I appreciate everyone watching. I hope you take some of the good news story of the holidays to your class or your colleagues. And if you aren't already connected with Allyson, make sure you do that. I'm trying to look at all the.
I know I love Karen's giving me tips of bookstores to visit in Grand Rapids.
So Karen's not, I don't think, very far from you.
She's in Muskegon, which is north of us. And I don't know if Karen has power right now because I live in Grand Haven and I did not have power.
Karen, do you have power or are you just like cruising on your data plan right now? She did say earlier, like I think she might be off work because I wonder if they don't have power up there. She mentioned like one of her jobs. I think she said two-thirds of her job were out. I didn't know she had 3 jobs, but Karen does work with us. She's one of our blog editors. But Karen, let us know. Do you have power up there? So we had a lot of wind here, but you guys had like
65 mile an hour wind. I live in the middle of the woods, so when the power went out and you can like hear everything, I was really scared about a tree dropping on my house.
No kidding.
But I think one of the benefits of living in the middle of the woods is the wind is broken up by lots of trees.
Yeah. I would imagine it would hit you differently.
There's a lot of branches down. Yeah. One road was closed on my way to school, so.
So she has power, but no school. Did they cancel school so you could go to yoga? Is that what's going on? Because that's some power.
It's National Karen Day.
It's National Karen Day. It's National Karen Goes to Yoga Day. Well, whatever it is, enjoy yoga. And Allyson, I'm gonna let you go. I know you got a lot to do there with your staff, and continuing your last 2 days of the Christmas celebration before break. So enjoy that, and Merry Christmas to you, my friend. I appreciate you. Christmas. And everyone else, we will see you. We'll be back live again tomorrow morning with Ray and Brad. So don't miss that. We will be still live next week, all week next week as well. So we will see you all week next week as well. So if you're off school, get up early and join us, I guess.
Yeah.
Or just listen to the podcast later, sleep in. Yeah. But anyway, appreciate you. Love you all. Hope you have an amazing week. Allyson, thank you so much. We'll see you.
Thank you. Have a great day. Merry Christmas.
Bye, all.